Storyboard.
Little pictures on white paper.
So I guess the first thing that you do after you have a script is to storyboard the film, right?
Yeah, to figure out the planet.
And that's what we did.
It's 22nd February of 2022. Quite a date. And we are here. We are doing storyboards for the new upcoming short film.
Usually when you think about storyboards, right? You imagine them, you know, they're on paper, they're drawn by hand. But now the times are changing and we have a storyboard which is drawn on an iPad.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about that?
I would like to have an analog storyboard with, you know, inks and stuff, but unfortunately it would make things much slower. The storyboards were drawn by our friend Martin Hrastic, who also painted the backdrop of the Fuji mountain for our miniature video a while back. He's a really good illustrator, so we asked him...
you know, the most important thing is cheap.
So our usual process would be, we come to his place, we open the script, the first page, right? And we start going through the descriptions and dialogues and we start directing, basically. It's the first time we direct.
He has this iPad and it's connected with the HDMI cable to his TV. So basically, Dino and me, we just lay here on the couch all day long. This is our favorite position.
And the dogs.
And the dogs are with us on the couch.
Yeah.
And we basically like watch the TV all day long and just we are telling him, no, move him to the left. No, he needs to be bigger. And stuff like that.
Pretty fun stuff.
It's hard work. It's hard work.
Let's be honest. Most of the time when you see directors, like on YouTube videos and in making-offs talking about their process of framing, they talk a lot of philosophy, right? And a lot of psychology.
Yeah.
And we, most of the time, think it's a bit of bullshit. But not just technical. There is some truth in it. So we tried it for our main character. His name's George, and you can see him on the third picture. We are always putting him at the border of the frame, just to show that he's a bit out of touch. You know, he's not connected to the whole world surrounding him.
And he's looking outside of the frame, because if you frame him like this, it would be natural for him to look this way, to the right.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
And he's looking to the left, and that's not how you usually frame people. You leave space in front of their face, right?
He's basically left out of context.
Yeah.
This was kind of like our goal.
This was the idea that came when we started storyboarding, and we said, okay, that's interesting, and let's try to do it throughout the whole film.
Yeah, it was our expression to incorporate psychology into our framing.
It's always going to be poetry.
I mean, the format is a square, right? So our style is basically put the character always on the bottom end of the frame and leave lots of space above him, sort of saying they're not controlling their own destiny in a sort of way, but maybe that's bullshit. It's a technique we're applying.
For example,
constantly.
you know, if you put a huge, rusty, old, decrepit hanger and he's a small person in front of it, it says something metaphorically, right?
Absolutely.
You know, he's a small guy in front of this monstrosity and he has to work there and he's not happy about it.
For instance, in this scene, A character and B character are apart from each other.
Yeah.
At a certain point in which they don't feel the same way about certain things. Mm-hmm. Character A is at the end of his frame and character B is on his right. And the space in between is blank. It's empty. And as the scene progresses, they come to an agreement, let's say. And in that point, we see them for the first time together sharing a two-shot.
Yeah.
You can go long, you can go wide, you can do a combination of them. You can maybe just use medium lenses like a 50 to get a more realistic viewpoint of the world. But in our case, we decided for extra wide and extra long lenses, a combination of it.
You can already feel the lens we used in the storyboard. So for example, on this,
it's a long lens.
This shot, it's obviously a long lens seen from the distance because he is looking at them. He's not a part of this scene, right? So it's a long lens. And here he is again small in front of this supplies hanger.
It's an extremely wide angle.
It's a wide angle from the top, you know, bird's eye view. So you can really get a feel for the film.
Here in the last picture, you see him really small opposed this big hall where he's working at. So it's basically like an ant.
Like an ant. That's very evocative of Citizen Kane to me.
Yeah, and it's also, there's a nice description, it's NASA purgatory.
So as we are drawing the storyboard, we come to a place where there is a prop described that we didn't invent yet, for example, right? So in our case, it was the urinal simulator that our main guy uses because he invents this urinal net and he obviously needs to test it somehow, right? Like we look at each other and how does it look, right? Martin, our guy, has to draw something and we have nothing to draw.
Luca firstly draw the machine, like from his set, designed it.
This is some kind of a compressor that creates the pressure in the glass with the water. Then the water is going through the tube outside and it sprays water on the V net and it's, you know, spraying all over the place.
And now we found an example of a real machine on the internet. And when you look at it,
Yeah, pretty similar.
it's pretty similar.
So I have a mind of the engineer.
Yeah, or a mind of a pisser.
It just goes to show how grounded in realism our movie is.
There were moments we were thinking that we're maybe total and complete idiots with coming up with ideas like that, but now we're kind of like enjoying it. We're enjoying ourselves.
And actually, yeah, some new ideas occur during the storyboarding, and you actually do something in the storyboard that wasn't actually in the script.
At the end of the film, President Nixon visits NASA, and we have a wide shot of the limos arriving in front of the building. And after that shot, we wanted to have a close-up of his shoes stepping out of the car. But then Martin remembered that before that we see President drinking a can of Coke in the car.
Ili kad spušta nogu iz auta ova scena, nek padne limenka od kola uz nogu. Kao popio.
To čak toliko dobro glupo da bi možda čak i moglo pasat.
And since we all liked it, he immediately just drew the shoe, crushing the can.
You're constantly developing, you know, new ideas, which is fun.
We are drawing the last frame.
And after this we're gonna take a leak.
Wow, let's go on a pause for Martin. 156 shots. We need to film 156 shots and we have a movie.
It's very, very inspiring.
that?
You really feel the atmosphere.
Yeah,
Even if the drawings are very sketchy and very fast,
yeah.
you really, it's juicy. You feel the rain and everything. Yeah.
And when you read the script, actually, you have a feeling it's more kind of like a corporate story. It doesn't feel hyper real, but when you look at the shots, how we kind of like created the shots and the atmosphere, it feels heightened reality. Sort of.
We finished the storyboard, and then one very useful thing that we can do with it is see all the shots that we need for the film. We can get a count, how many shots do we need, and we actually separated them into 3 different categories. First category was everything with the actors, second category was visual effects, you know, everything with the miniatures, and the third category was the inserts, you know, just like close-ups of the cigarettes and stuff like that. So we decided, okay, we have a schedule of 7 days with the actors, we're not gonna spend time and do all the close-ups, there's no need, we can do that here in the garage. And obviously miniatures are also a separate filming. So then we separated all the shots that we need for the 7-day shoot.
You wouldn't be able to do that without storyboards.
Yeah, and you obviously don't film the whole film chronologically. That's a very rare luxury, I think, for a filmmaker. So yeah, if you have, I don't know, 4 scenes where only one guy is appearing in, the main guy, for example, and they're in the different parts of the film, you put them in the same day of filming because it's much more practical. And we have before lunch and after lunch. That's because in the middle of the day you have the break, right, for lunch break. So all these shots are gonna be with this one guy before lunch, and all these shots are gonna be after lunch. And that's only with him. In the second day we have 2 characters, they're driving in the car and mostly talking, so the whole day is just dedicated to that scene.
So it's car day. Anyway, storyboards are great, and you should try them.
You should try them.
Even if you can't draw, like us, just find a cheap storyboard artist. They're everywhere.
I don't think they're everywhere. But do you remember? I'm sure everybody who drew their own storyboards, I did as a kid, like it was just like these stick figure people. It was just the crappiest thing ever.
It doesn't even have to look good.
Of course.
The point is,
to give
it allows you to plan it out good. And music, we never mentioned it. When doing the storyboard process, we were listening extensively to jazz.
Yes.
Which is the kind of music we're actually going to use in this film.
Yeah.
And it gives you a nice feel of atmosphere, right? So use music.
Yeah, and it's a very enjoyable process because somebody else is doing the work. You're just laying on the couch and thinking and giving orders, and somebody else needs to draw it. So it's cool. Yeah, it's enjoyable. So we hope you got the feeling of the whole storyboard process that we did, and you know how we thought about it. That was it for this video. See you next time.
Tune in.
Cheers.
Toast to you guys.
Good job, guys.
For splashback.
First splashback. Made splashback all the time in your face.